Okay, guys, welcome back to your final lesson of the week. Well done. Your first full week of remote learning is done. I'm very proud of you for keeping up the excellent work. So, as always, can you please make sure you write your title, your date, and your learning objective, which is I will learn about life in ancient Athens so I can begin to understand the characters in the play. Pause the video and get this written down now for me, please. Okay, now you're ready to complete your do now. So today I would like you to copy the 2 sentences out of these 5 that are true. Which of these 2 sentences are true? Pause the video and copy those down now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you are ready to make your purple pen corrections. Make sure that you give it a tick if you got it right. And if you got it wrong, make sure you cross it out and just pop the correct answer down for me, please, in purple pen. The 2 true statements were Shakespeare spent more time at school than pupils today, and Shakespeare's family were rich. Pause the video and make any corrections now if you need to. Okay, so let's get started talking about ancient Athens. And we looked at this a little bit last lesson when we learned about what Shakespeare's education was like. And we knew that Athens was a city in ancient Greek and Roman times. All right, so let's look at society and law in Athens. So society is what the world is like, what the world that we live in, our society, the people, the rules, the things that we do, the things that we learn, the way we act. So in Athens, there were people that were treated better than other people. And this diagram here shows us the order in which people were treated. So at the top are the people that were treated the best and had the most power, and they also had the most opportunities. And at the bottom, we have the people that didn't have any power and didn't really have any opportunities. So the most powerful people were the government. Those are the people that make all the rules and the laws and the decisions. And the government was often made up of only male citizens, only men, only people that lived in Athens who were men made up the government. Next in line are the male citizens, and they still had a lot of power and they still had a lot of authority and control. Next, we have the male children, even newborn children who were boys, who were male, had power, more so than any women or female children, and also any foreigners. So anyone that wasn't from Athens and any woman were here. And we're going to look at about women and what they were allowed and not allowed to do in a little while. And right at the bottom, right at the lowest part of society, we have the slaves. Okay? So, what I want you to do now is copy this title and this list into your exercise books, just like this. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, and the title. Pause the video and copy that down now for me, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you are ready to move on. So, like I said last lesson, we are going to be studying a Shakespeare play called A Midsummer Night's Dream. Before we get started, I just want to see how you think the characters would fit in to the order of society. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash some of the main characters up on the screen with a picture and their name. What you are going to do is next to the positions in society, you're going to write their name depending on what you think they fit into. So you might see a picture of someone and think that they fit into the government because they look like they're wearing really expensive clothes, or they might be sitting on a special chair. They might even have like a crown on their head. So then next to government, you would write their name. So let's go through these now. So the first character we have is Hermia. This is a picture of Hermia. Hermia is a woman. So pause the video and write her name, Hermia, next to which position in society she would belong to. Okay, you should have Hermia written down, so let's try our next character. We have Aegeus. Aegeus. And look at what Aegeus is wearing, look at where he's sitting, look at who's around him, and pause the video and write his name next to one of these positions in society. Okay, let's move on to our next character. Oh, this one's actually two characters, Lysander and Demetrius. So, where would they fit? Government, male citizens, male children, women, foreigners and female children, or slaves? Pause the video and write their names where you think they fit. Okay, next up we have Helena. This is the beautiful Helena wearing this lovely dress. So write her name where you think she fits. Okay, and finally we have Theseus. This is a lovely drawing of Theseus. Think about what he's wearing, think about what he has on his head. Pause the video and write his name next to one of these options here. Okay, so you should now have all your characters listed next to the positions in society. Now let's make our corrections. If you got it wrong, doesn't matter, don't worry about it, just cross it out and put the character in the correct place. So, here are the answers. We have Theseus and Aegeus at the top in government, and we could tell by the fact that they were sitting on a throne and they had these amazing robes and also crowns on their head. Then we have Lysander and Demetrius, who are adult men. And then we also have Helena and Hermia, and they were dressed really nicely. They had these fancy dresses on, but they are still women, which means they are still kind of a little bit powerless at the bottom. Okay, pause the video now and make any corrections that you need to, please. Okay, so let's have a look at gender in a little bit more detail. So this table here shows the different things that existed in Athens. So schooling, sports, the army, making decisions, household duties, and childcare. And we have what the male citizens could do, and then what the female citizens could do. So for example, let's have a look at a few. Schooling. All of the men or the boys would go to school outside of the home. They'd go to an actual school and they would learn reading, writing, music and literature. However, women, they would actually be educated by their mothers at home, and they would learn things like weaving, spinning, which is to do with making fabrics, and also how to look after children. So they would help look after their younger siblings. Let's also have a look at decision making. So the male citizens in Athens had all of their rights to participate in anything at the age of 20. So they could make choices about loads of different things. But women didn't have any decision-making abilities. They had no power. They couldn't make any choices, which meant that the men would make the choices for the women. And let's finally look at childcare. I'll give you an opportunity to pause and read the others. Men really didn't get involved with raising their children, but when the boys grew up, their fathers did play a greater role in their lives because they would want them to teach them about how to make decisions and how to be the kind of the money earner of the family. But again, women, they ultimately just had to raise their children, and they were responsible for their education and the training of the girls. So it was quite split. The men looked after the boys when they got a bit older, but the women kind of had to deal with everything and also educate their female children. So pause the video here and just read sports, army service, and household duties. Okay, so you can probably tell already that life for women was very different to the life of men in Athens. So let's reflect on that. So what I would like you to do is to complete the sentence starters below in your exercise books. So women in Athens were treated, choose a word to describe how they were treated, because, explain to me why you think they were treated in this way. 3 things they were not allowed to do are, and you can rewind the video and look at the table and see what they weren't allowed to do. And then I would like you to explain to me why you wouldn't like to be an Athenian woman. And then you can do the same process for men. How were they treated and why? What 3 things were they allowed to do? And why would it be better to be an Athenian man? Okay, pause the video and complete those sentence starters now. Don't forget that you can rewind if you need to look at the table again. Okay, if you're back, that means that you've got your sentence starters down. So now it's time for you to get out your phone and send a picture of your work to my email. Please make sure you do this so I can look at your excellent work. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. Please make sure that you get some rest and you get some fresh air. And I will see you for our library lesson on Monday. Well done, guys. Keep up the excellent work. I'm very proud of you.